Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be watching the video. My name is Justice, and I want to welcome you to my channel, the Onyx Academy, the Onyx Fashion Academy, whichever one you choose to call it. Okay, please do like our video, do subscribe to our video, do give us a thumbs up. All right. So in this video, we're going to be learning how to draft a pant trouser. We know that the trouser is basically an issue for many designers. And of course, there are so many methods of drafting the pants trouser. But in this case, we're going to look at a very simple method that fits everybody because it's going to take care of your accurate measurements. Okay, so in previous videos, we've taken care of how to take accurate body measurements, but then we may still redo it again. Okay, but then you can look at the video on how to take accurate measurements, especially the pants trouser area. So we're going to go into how to draft the pants trouser. Sorry, very simple and straight to the point. Please stay with us. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so let's get started. These are the measurements that we'll need for our trouser. We need our round waist measurement. Here we're working with 33, round hip 41. Our upper lap or thigh measurement for one leg is 26. It's advisable you use the bigger size of the lap. You know that some persons have one leg bigger than the other. It's normal in human beings, okay? Now, in for the knee, round knee, we have 19.5, and round ankle, we have 14. Here we have the um, vertical measurement, waist to hip, we have 8. Waist to knee, we have 22, and waist to ankle or to floor, wherever you want it to stop, we have 40. So these are the measurements we're working with, and we'll go right to business. Now we have our pattern paper, and we've created the margin. But to create a margin 1 inch from the margin of the paper, the top of the paper, this way 1 inch, and this other way 1 inch. We ruled across. Then the next thing we're going to do is to get the length um, of our trouser. So we're measuring from this line that we've ruled, come down by 1 inch. We're measuring down to where our trouser is going to stop. We have 40, and then we have extra 2 inches for hemming allowance. So this is where our basic measurement stops, and the remaining two is for folding allowance. So what we're going to do now is to divide our hip into 4. So 41 divided by 4 giving us 10.25. Okay, this is 10, and the next two lines, that's 10.25. So we're going to mark from this point 10.25 this way. Just watch what I'm doing. On this part, we're using this 10.5 to form a box. Okay, so marking 10.5 around these areas. Horizontally and vertically, we're marking 10.5. 10.25 rather, not 10.5. Okay, so this is what we have. We're going to rule it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So we form a box this way using our hip measurement divide by 4. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to get our crotch extension. Now to get our crotch extension, we're going to divide our crotch into 20. or on the average you can just use 2 inches. So in this case I want to use 2 inches. If I divide by 20, it is still going to give me something close to this, or at least one line above this. Okay, so on the average you can just use 2 inches for the crotch extension for the front. Now from waist to hip, that is what we're going to mark. We said our waist to hip is 8. If you have difficulty knowing your waist to hip, you can just go up from here by 2 inches. But since we know it and it's still almost the same thing, we're using our measurements. 2 inches from waist to hip. We mark. Okay, now on this line that will have our hip, this is our crotch line, hip line. Then at this point we have our waistline. Now at this hip line we're going out by 0.25. 0.25. That is to give us a guideline on how to connect this. All right. Now what we're going to do is to take care of this part. In this area I don't want to have that at the front block, so I'm not going to take care of any that. We're not having that in the front. I don't like putting that in the front, but if you like to put that in the front you can still do it. Divide your waist into 4 plus 1 inch, that is the dart. But without the dart, just divide your waist into 4 and mark. But before we mark, we're going to go in here by 1 inch. This 1 inch is going to take care of the folds that usually happen at the front region of the trouser. So we're going in here by 1 inch and we divide our waist by 4. That is 33 divided by 4, and that will give us, hope you can see it. We're starting the measurement from this part to wherever it's going to stop, 8.25, and then we'll connect this to our hip, while this part we're connecting to this point and to this point. So let's do it. So this is how you're going to keep your curve. Let it rest on this 0.25 that we came out from at the hip, touch this point, and then this 1 inch. Everything blends together. Please, if you don't have a curve, it's very necessary that you try to get one. It makes the work so accurate. So for this part, oh sorry about that, we are connecting this to the hip line. You don't have to make it too curvy. Okay, so this is what it should look like after you're done to this extent. Now in this case, it's either you go up by ½ inch and come down this way by ½ inch, or you can just come down here by 1 inch and not go up by ½ inch, leave here the way it is. But here I'm going up by ½ inch and coming down here by ½ inch. Then I will use my ruler to connect the lines. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do now is to get our center line, or the crease line. We're dividing from this point to this point into 2. We're dividing into 2. This way, and you mark. So from this line, you're going to measure what you have. and here we have 6.025. Okay, 6.025, and that is 6 inches and one line. So we're going to mark this down to the end of our paper, and we use our ruler to connect the line on a straight line. Okay, so this is what we have. And the next thing we're going to do is to put our vertical measurements. For the hip, we're starting from this line, our normal line, to where our hip, waist to knee is. And we say that waist to knee is 22. Then the last, waist to ankle. So at this knee line, we want to rule our horizontal line across. And here also we are ruling our line across. Alright? So what we're going to do is to take the circumference of the knee. Now we said that the circumference of our knee is 19.5. We're dividing 19.5 into 2 for the front and back block. Then whatever we have for the front, we're going to divide it into 2 again. So as usual, this is what we're going to do. This is 19.5. We're placing our tape there, 19.5. Open it. This is for the front and this is for the back. So for the front, we'll divide it again. And this is what we have. 4.9. So we're going to mark 4.9 on this side and 4.9 on this other side. I hope you're following. Please do subscribe to our channel. Do give us a thumbs up. Do comment, like, and share. Please, please, please. So marking 4.9 this way and 4.9 this way. The same thing we're going to do at the knee, at the ankle. So we've repeated the same thing at the ankle. Our ankle is 14 inches. We divided it into 2. That is 7 for the front and 7 for the back. So the 7 for the front, we divided it into 2, and we have 3.5 this way and 3.5 that way. I hope you can see this pattern. I'm using a heavy pencil so that it will be clear to you. So what we're going to do now is to connect the lines. From this point, we're connecting to the knee area. And we're connecting to the ankle. And then on a straight line, we'll connect to the folding allowance, the hemming allowance. Okay? Now on this part also, on a straight line, we're connecting to the hemming allowance. Then from the ankle, we're connecting to the knee. I hope my voice is clear enough. Please, you can watch this video as many as possible, so that many times as possible, so that you can actually understand in case you don't understand. Now we're using this curve to connect this part. Remember, this can equally go on a straight line. It can go on a very slight curve, depending on how curvy the person is. If the person is so curvy, you can use a very curved line. If the person is not that curvy, just make it a bit curved. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. This is our front block. Our waistline, hip line, crotch line. This is the crotch line, crotch depth, and this is crotch extension. This is our hip line, and this is the ankle or the full length of the trouser. Okay, so like this, we're done with the front, and we're going to go back to the back. Remember, we've not taken our thigh measurement of this line. When we get to the back, we're going to take good care of that. So I'm going to cut out the pattern now. Okay, now for the back, don't mind all these drawing papers I did. For the back, there are two methods you can go about the back. At this point, I had to cut the hip line open. You can cut the hip line open this way and open it up by 1.5 to 2 inches depending on the size of the person and the size of the hip. For this measurement, I can open it up to 2 inches. For a smaller size, I can do it 1 inch, okay, 1.5 inch rather. Or the other way around, you can just keep it the way it is, close it up this way, and then raise up the back here by 2 inches. Okay, so for us, we want to do the simplest method. We're going to raise this place up by 2 inches, and we're going to close back here. I just opened it to show you that you can do it the other way around. Okay, this is the 2 inches this way. From this is center front, right? This part also will be the center back. So this is our 2 inches for the guide. We must go out again. Okay, so watch what we're going to do now. I told us that this pant trouser is going to be a free type. It's not that one that is going to be very tight on you. This is a free trouser, but not a bogus trouser. It's just going to take care of your measurements exactly the way it should be. Easy, free for you to make a move. Okay, so the next we're going to do now, I want you to watch from this edge of the front paper, the front pattern. We're going in by 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. This is the waistline. From this point, 1/2 inch in, this point, 1/2 inch in. At the hip line, 1/2 inch in. At this point, 1/2 inch in. At the crotch line, 1/2 inch in. This part, 1/2 inch in. The same goes to the knee. From here, 1/2 inch in. From here, 1/2 inch in. And also the ankle. So for the waist and the hip, we're dividing our measurement into two. Okay, we're dividing our measurement into two, waist and hip. Then for the crotch, knee, and ankle, we're not dividing. Hope that is clear. Okay, so what we're going to do for the waist now, our measurement is 33 divided by 2. We have 16.5, right? 16.5. That is 33 for the waist divided by 2, 16.5. So what we're going to do is to place our tape on this 1/2 inch in, right, from this part, from the center front, and keep it to the next 1/2 inch in, and this is giving us 7.1 approximately. Let's take 7.1 instead of 7.25. 7.1. So wherever it is, we're going to turn our tape. This is 7.1 that we're taking, okay? 7.1, we're going to turn the tape this way, keep it at that 7.1, and return it back to where we have our half measurement for the waist. because I said we're dividing our waist into two. So this is 16.5, and this is where our back waist is here. Okay, we have this half inch allowance in the pattern. Now for the hip also, we're taking from here down to where the half-inch in is. This is 9.5. So we're turning to keep it at that 9.5. We're taking it over to our hip is what? 41. 41 divided by 2, it's going to give us 20.5, right? So this is 20.5. Am I right? So this is our 9.5 here, and this is 20.5. This is our 20.5 here, and this is where our hip measurement is. Now for the crotch, we're not going to divide, we're taking our measurements the way it is. Our thigh measurement is 26, so we're starting our measurement this way again, from this half-inch to the next half-inch, and we have 11.25. So we'll turn our tape at 11.25 down to where we have 26. So this is our back crotch line. Okay, the same will go to the knee. Our knee is 19.5. So 19.5, we'll start from here and end here. The half-inch in, and we have 8.75. So we take it down to 19.5. This is 19.5. Now the same goes to the ankle. The measurements we're going to take for the back. Alright, I hope this is clear. So for this waistline, remember this is our waistline, so that for the back we're raising it up to meet with this 2 inches that we've taken at this point. So our measurement is going to come from here to meet with the waistline. Okay, so this is what we're going to do from this part to this part. I'm connecting it on a straight line. You may use a thicker pencil, connecting on a straight line. Okay, so we can erase this. So we're going to get our curve, and we'll connect from here to here, from the crotch line to the hip line and to the waistline. We can get this first before we do the other one. Like this, and then move over to this. In case here should be sharp, we need to blend it. So this is our back line, and this is our front line. I hope it's making sense to someone. Just hope it's making sense to someone. Please, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Because a slight curve line on this part, very slight curve line on this part, just very small. So this is what we have, front and back. Now on this part, the front and the back is just going to be the same. You're not adding anything to this part. You're only adding to the inseam area. So we're going to cut our pattern out. So our trouser pattern now is ready. This is the front pattern and this is the back pattern. So if we're sewing, we're going to cut this into two and we'll cut this into two for the back. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to our channel, the Onyx Fashion Academy. We promise to make the tutorials more regular every week, at least once in a week, but we hope to be doing twice a week. Stay tuned with us, you're going to learn a lot. Basically pattern drafting, and in some cases freehand, so you have a lot to learn. So in our next video, we're going to see how to attach the zipper to the trouser, zipper fly, pockets, band, and all of that. It's a series. Stay tuned. Bye.